Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our next Bioregenesis broadcast, live and direct between Nice and Vienna. We are both not native English speakers. He's from Austria, I'm from German, so we do our best. We would like to talk today about some topics which are part of our work, so to speak, and also our beingness, which is Base-12 Bioregenesis. And maybe we should go into introduction first. What exactly is Base-12 bioregenesis?
Well, as a non-native speaker, you did it quite well, I would say. So keep on track. Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, so thank you very much for your short introduction. So my name is Asim and I'm the creator of Base-12 Bioregenesis Coaching, which is a holistic method that I have developed over, well, almost 2 decades, I would say. And it helps people and organizations to heal, to evolve, and to awaken across 12 levels of consciousness, across 12 levels of awareness. This is bioregenesis. So I hope that's a very short and precise introduction into this method.
So this is a different approach to, let's say, standard coaching or therapy and what is there out there in the field. So maybe we can talk about what exactly is the difference between.
Well, I mean, I believe every coaching method or every method coming from personal development can be very useful, and depending on which state of consciousness you are at right now, it really can help you to move forward, to evolve, to understand and get some important insights. So I'm not here to discredit any method out there. I just would like to approach or give you a deeper insight into this very specific method. So Base-12 Bioregenesis Coaching, it's not traditional coaching, I would say. It's not therapy, and it's not business strategy at all, actually. And what I've seen and what I've noticed is that many people and many businesses out there operate far below their true potential. And in many cases, it's not because, and there is a video where I'm talking about this. In many cases, it's not because they lack effort or ambition or even talent, actually, because they have all of it. But for some reasons, they are far below their true potential, or they operate far below their true potential. And there is a reason for that. And the reason that I found out is that they're only using a small fraction of who they truly are, basically a small spectrum of who they truly are. And basically, people have been creating businesses or creating their successes and whatever they want to create from a limited identity. So not from a limitless identity, which is our true nature, but just from a limited identity. And that's why people sometimes sit somewhere and believe or think that probably what they have achieved is not enough, or they are not enough, or whatever it is, it's not enough. And basically the reason for that is that they are mostly identified with their limited identity, their limited nature. And Base-12 Bioregenesis Coaching is a method. Probably it's more than a method. It's a key or an access point where people can tap into their limitless identity, the limitless nature, and start creating from this identity, from this nature. And to get back to your question, so basically, Base-12 bioregenesis, it's not a linear method. It's not a method that you can just explain from your rational mind, because it goes far beyond that. It means it basically gives you access to 12 levels of your consciousness, to 12 levels of your awareness. And your rational mind, your ego identity, let's call it that way, actually goes just till dimension 3. And bioregenesis coaching, Base-12 bioregenesis coaching goes far beyond that. So, yeah.
So you could say we're talking about some hybrid form, which combines different aspects of different fields. And I mean, I experienced it myself, so I can talk
Please,
right out
if you want to
of
share something.
experience. We will come to that in the talk. So you could say mostly Base-12 bioregenesis is operating on the meta level and in the quantum realm.
Right. So basically, I don't want to go too deep into all these 12 levels of consciousness, because we can make another video just for that. And we will do it, hopefully. We're going to do that. I hope so.
Yeah.
However, basically, Base-12, or what are the 12 levels of consciousness, just describing it in a very short and brief explanation here. It starts from your subconscious mind, which is dimension 1, and goes all the way up to your emotional mind, your mental mind, and it goes to your soul identity, all the way up to your soul identity, to your oversoul identity, and all the way up to your highest identity, your divine essence, which is dimension 12, and sometimes even beyond that. And so I've created this method that basically addresses and works on all 12, all these levels of awareness and consciousness. Why? Because I've seen many people out there trying different kind of personal development tools and approaches, and somehow they felt still very stuck in a way that these methods might have reached their limits. So they needed something that goes beyond that. And why did they reach their limits? Because deep within us, we are not linear beings. We are not rational beings. We are multidimensional beings.
Very important.
Right. So we are multidimensional beings. And if you're a multidimensional being and there is a calling with you that is saying, okay, you're here to awaken to your multidimensional nature, to your multidimensional identity, to your multidimensional consciousness, then this calling within you wants you to go deeper and not just stay on some superficial levels of tools and techniques that are out there, but really go into the full spectrum of who you truly are.
Very important here to also, we don't want to discredit the other tools and techniques and methods. No, absolutely not.
I mean, I've tried all of them.
Yeah, same here, right?
YouTube.
Everything has its purpose, and it brings you to a certain level or certain point. That's my experience in the past 30 years, where I jumped through all this stuff, mostly. And I tried it all, and it freed me somehow to a certain point, and a little bit of feel good and better and this and that. But what I learned is most things are not permanent. Yeah, so the crap comes back, so to speak. And the stuff, what you wanted to get rid of, or where you thought you have been get rid of. And secondly, there was always something missing. Yeah. And when I started to work with you in May this year, it was, I mean, even in the first session, yeah, in a very, very short amount of time, we dissolved a major topic and my whole system shifted immediately. So maybe we can also go a little bit into.
Yeah, that's a very, very important question. Or, I mean, it's not a question now, but I understand your question behind what you're trying to ask here. I mean, what you have experienced so far, I mean, you have experienced the full spectrum of Base-12 Bioregenesis Coaching, and because you went through all stages that this process offers, basically. But what I want to point out here right now is well, there are many people sometimes come to us or to me saying, okay, I did this technique, I did this method, and basically I've been on my personal development journey for over 20 years. And
30 in my case.
Oh, probably 30. Well, I mean, 20 years is still long too, but
yeah, it is.
Yeah, but it can be it can be more than that sometimes. And they're still struggling. Somehow they're still struggling in the same way, like 20 years ago, right? I mean, hopefully when you try something and you do something, it gets better, hopefully. But there are some people, they're struggling the same way like 20 years ago, although they have been on this healing journey for more than 20 years. And this is kind of sometimes very frustrating.
Absolutely.
I think, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, to be honest, it's very frustrating. And I mean, sometimes I still ask myself, where does this discipline come from sometimes? And it's good. I mean, it's good to have discipline, but like struggling yourself through this, through this healing journey and still sometimes be at the same point or the same stage where you began in a way might be quite frustrating, I guess.
Moving in circles.
Like moving in circles. Somehow, right.
Or trapped in loops.
Right, yeah. And like still dealing with the same issues in the end, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And
and I totally understand this can be very frustrating.
Yeah.
And so people come to me for this reason, and they have tried like everything from psychotherapy to spiritual healing and whatever. And sometimes, well, if they have done or if they have gone through improvements, that's great. But they don't feel that they are there yet. They didn't have like achieved really what they want to achieve. Some of them are at the same point like where they started, and some of them are even worse off than where they started.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Another question pops up. I mean,
I think I didn't answer your question.
No,
but
it's
it
okay.
doesn't matter.
Yeah. The thing is, there is always the thing that you think something is lacking. I have to do something. I have to do more. Sometimes also came up, it will never end. Hopeless case and all this noise, the mind noise, the ego noise. And that's a question which came up right now when I listen to you is, could be another part of the problem that you try to solve it on a mental or ego level, so to speak. And that's not possible because that's a trap, I would say, right?
Well, I'm not sure if I would call it trap in the end, but
on purpose.
Right. I mean,
you know me.
Yes. Well, what I'm seeing here is that people are trying to solve something from a point or from a state of consciousness that basically created all these problems.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? So, and all right, I mean, there are some mindset tools out there and they really can bring some improvements. But in many cases, for many people, this is not enough. We are back here, like where you started this question with something is lacking. And I truly understand, because it's not enough. There is a calling within you saying, okay, like using that technique and it's done. No, I want you to really come to the realization of who you are in your highest essence. So you need to go beyond that. Right? So, and this is why I've created Base-12 Bioregenesis Coaching, because it really goes beyond that, beyond our ego identity, beyond our rational mind, beyond all these linear approaches out there. It goes beyond that. And this is why, and I'm really grateful for that, people who come to me, who come to us to work with us, some of them, or like I would say all of them, have the feeling like they have really arrived in a way. Like, I mean, I received that email from our client today saying that she felt like she has now arrived home, like her inner home, after 6 weeks of working with us. She really felt like, okay, I feel like this wholeness again, and this homeness, getting home again. And this is why I've created Base-12 Bioregenesis Coaching, because it basically, the purpose of it is to help you to regenerate your original divine blueprint and give you the access to the full spectrum of your being across all dimensions of your existence.
Yeah, and to add is, it's not only who you are, it's also what you are.
Well,
that you are a conscious
right?
creator.
Everything that you are, right?
Exactly,
yes.
Right. And it is, and that's the game changer for me. It is permanent. Yeah, it's not a temporary fling thingy and then a little feel-good fluff. I mean, you are going through very strong topics sometimes, yeah, which are very old and dark and heavy. But the difference for me was, I also experienced some other methods and techniques and whatnot, and it was heavy and it was very, and you really suffered again through the emotions and somehow mostly re-traumatizing and stuff like that. But when I worked with you, it was like in a few minutes,
sometimes.
Everything,
yes.
In my case,
in your case, right? Yeah.
Everything changed, and I was physically, energetically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually in a total different realm, in a total different energy field and state of being. And I remember clearly you asked, because sometimes you ask just questions, right? And out of these questions, your whole reality shifts. And you asked, well, can you look if there is still this topic in your system? And I couldn't even remember anymore that it ever was there. And that was very, very powerful and mind-blowing, to be honest, and also very impressive. And maybe you can talk a little bit, how is that possible and what exactly is happening there, or what are you doing?
Yeah, that's a good question, because from your point of view, or how you are describing it, it sounds like a miracle. And I would like to demystify a little bit now. And like there is a know-how behind that. There is knowledge behind that. And it's not just a miracle happening out of nowhere and going nowhere. It's not like this, right?
No.
I mean, you know it already, but I would like to explain it to everybody who is listening as well.
Right.
Well, regarding your situation, the very thing that you described right now is what I did in that case is basically I have trained my consciousness to level up in a way where I can access higher dimensions of reality, right? So everything that goes beyond dimensions 3, 4, 5, 6, and sometimes higher than that. And when I'm there at that level or stage of consciousness, I have a different perspective. I have a different perspective of you. I have a different perspective of your issue, the problems, and the things that you're struggling with. I mean, it's a different perspective, right? And from that perspective, I do the coaching, the whole coaching. And that, like, and sometimes there is like an energetic intervention. So I do something energetically, like while we're talking about something else, something happens within you on the energetic level. Sometimes I ask you a question because I know through that question, this will have a ripple effect on all stages of your being.
Mm.
So basically it comes from up and going down till your subconscious mind, and until your like down till your cell memory and DNA.
Exactly.
Right? So this is how it works. So probably it still sounds a little bit like a miracle or like a mystic way, and it is. It has to be in a way because I mean, I do spiritual coaching, so it's okay if it sounds a little bit mystical. However, I really try to not do it like to not explain it like as a miracle and that's it, and there is nothing behind that. So what I've been trying to do here right now is literally to give you some insight of or into how this is working.
Yeah, we try to simplify it, that the rational mind can't understand it. In our German broadcast last week, you said that you jump into the reality where healing already has happened.
Well, that's a good point as well, because as I said, I trained my state of consciousness to access higher dimensions of reality. And when I'm at this higher dimension, and there is like higher doesn't mean always better. It's like it's a different state of consciousness. It's a different perspective. So when I'm there, healing is already done. Because at this level of awareness, there is no sickness, to be honest. There is no lack.
No disease.
No disease. There is nothing of everything that people are struggling normally. So all healing, all transformation, all shift, everything that you're looking for, all is done at this state of consciousness and this stage of consciousness. And from there, like from this understanding, and not just understanding, but also like it has to be like also a deeper realization as well. From there, you start the healing work. So I start the healing work from there, and like screening the whole spectrum and the different dimensions of your being, understanding and finding out what you need to go through that state or to get to this state that is already done.
I think that explains it very good for the audience. So you could say that this is some sort of quantum jumping, or let's say
it's a fancy term, right?
Change. Yeah, that's why I'm asking, because many people will say that maybe, or maybe timeline jumping.
I'm not sure if I would describe it this way.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't jump anywhere. Like, well, because from my from my understanding and from my perspective, this is our true nature. Like this should be, and I'm not provoking here, but this should be your natural state of being. Like I'm not jumping to a natural state of being. You have to, I mean, the ideal case is that you are it already and you jump somewhere else if you want to. But this is your very true nature.
Okay, so let me rephrase that. So we are dissolving the layers of whatever, and then you remind yourself or you remember who you truly, that's what I meant, what and who you truly are. So conscious creator and your true self, so to speak, right?
Right. So basically it's the return to your original divine design.
Yes.
The return to your original divine blueprint. The identity that you are born with, but it's not your biological birth, but your spiritual birth.
Okay. So sounds a little bit like stuff you hear in the non-dual community as well, because they also talk a lot about your true self, your true nature, and oneness and whatnot. And as you may know, I also went for a decade and more into this realm, and I'm a guy, I always go all in, right? Like crazy.
I know, you're super committed.
Yeah, well.
Yes.
And I had my non-dual awakening in 2021, and I thought the end of all problems has arrived. And it did for some weeks. And I was in a bliss state and stuff like that. But then everything crashed really, really hard. And all kinds of stuff came to the surface of suppressed stuff, of repressed stuff. A lot of fear, suicidal stuff, and all this noise and madness. And I was sitting there and it felt very off. It felt very misaligned, and something felt absolutely not right. And very, very rare people talk about that. And then I started to dig and to research, and I found a lot of crazy stuff with this topic. And out of the work with you, I learned that there are so-called things called distortions. And distortions can trick you into believing things, or let's say they're not what it seems to be, right? So there's a lot of truth in it and a lot of light for the light, love and light brigade, so to speak. But there are a few percent which are, let's say, not clean. And it can misguide you, for example. And maybe we want to look first into the non-dual realm, because at the end, I realized the awakening was only on the mental level in the mind. And the mind then said, okay, now we play enlightened. But that's not going to work out. Absolutely. Yeah. And then you have the enemy, and the enemy is the ego, for example, right? Yeah.
Well, again, I'm not here like to discredit any.
Absolutely not.
Right? Any doesn't matter what it is, like non-duality, whatever it is out there.
Yeah.
And everything has its purpose in the end. And when I don't know, it was a couple of years ago, right? You told me when you were in that community, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And probably at that stage, at that time, it was kind of like the right thing to do in the end. You never know. Like it took you from this step to the next step, from this stage to the next step, to this level to another level. However, the problem with all spiritual directions and religious directions out there is sometimes they create like this enemy figure. And like what I've seen in, I'm not an expert in non-duality, but what I've seen in many non-duality communities, that they usually create the ego, the mind, as something that, okay, this is your enemy and don't listen to it. disassociate from it.
Don't forget the body.
The body, right? There's also the body,
yeah.
which is like the equivalent to the ego as well sometimes. So you have to like disconnect from it. You have to disassociate from it.
Get rid of it, right?
Get rid
or
of it.
Even kill it.
To kill it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is not my approach, and this is not the approach of Base-12 Bioregenesis Coaching, because the problem is with all this separation from something that is within you, is that like, well, it becomes like its own entity sometimes, and it might get out of control because you're separated from it. And you say, okay, this is not me, right? So, and then your mind or your ego, your body says, okay, well, there is no one I should listen to in the end. I can do my own thing. I can get out of control. And this is probably not in a holistic way how you can approach or how you should approach your healing journey. So, well, okay, so this is how I have perceived the techniques or methods behind non-duality. However, let's talk about Base-12 Bioregenesis Coaching and what is the different approach here. Basically, there is nothing you should separate yourself from something, because in the end, all is part of your full spectrum of your being. So, which means your ego, your body, your mind, they belong to you, right? So the very best thing, what you can do with a mind that gets out of control sometimes, or a body or the ego, or whatever, is to integrate all these aspects of your being into your highest identity. So like you embed it into your highest identity, your highest divine nature. And this is like a holistic approach of how healing can happen.
Integration.
Right. Integration into your highest identity. So that's why like the ego, the mind, the subconscious mind, the body, or whatever you have, it's not like something you should disconnect from, but in the end, take it into your spectrum, into your beingness, and align it with the highest identity that you are. So in the end, this is the process of becoming whole, right? So how can you become whole if you like try to kill something that is part of you? It doesn't work like that. So wholeness is a process of integrating all your aspects of your being and give it to your highest identity, to your highest divine nature.
So to get back to the so-called distortions, what exactly are distortions? And because there are many, you could say, right?
Well, distortions are like, you can call them blockages or inversions. So basically something that works in a way against your highest identity, your highest nature. Mm-hmm. So you have like, there are times or events where you accepted something that in a way is not aligned with who you truly are. And this becomes like a distortion. And it basically is like, it's a contradiction to your true identity. So a way how you can approach them is like to understand and see and be real about what's going on within you and around you. I mean, distortions may manifest within your energy field, within your body, which can manifest as a sickness as well. But you find also distortions out there, like, because normally distortions get projected through your consciousness, and sometimes it can be projected in a way that you might see something in your reality that you don't like, that you don't really wish or desire in the end. So the way how you can deal with that is to understand, okay, in the end, a distortion is not the highest expression of your identity, of who you truly are. Which doesn't mean that, like, when you screen or when you detect a distortion, it doesn't mean that it's something bad in the end, but every distortion needs like an approach in order to get released out of your system and out of your body. Because every distortion is also looking for liberation. And you can help your distortions to find liberation. And that's how it works normally.
But they also can be very concrete stuff, like in my case, for example. So for the audience, the main topic in my case was that I had the master core program running that I won't get 50 in this lifetime. I am 50 right now. So we changed that for sure. And when you have a master core program like that running, which is, let's say, destruction, then your system, your mind, your ego, whatever, will do everything in its way to fulfill this master core program. And you can do whatever you want. And that's why, for example, in my case, I went through all the isms. I lived in Buddhist monasteries, in ashrams. I tried all the techniques, all the methods, and I didn't find a way out. And suicidal thoughts and all those kind of things. And you cannot stop it, no matter what you do. And I was on a path which looked very dark, let's say, right? And then we came back in touch together. We know each other for 5 years now, and started to work with each other and started to dissolve this stuff. Oh, well, and now I'm a completely new person. I'm a changed man, and I'm reborn. And I mean it absolutely literally. And it's very, very fascinating to see what is possible in 12 weeks in my case. So we talk about 3 months immersion coaching. And in combination with that master core program of you're not getting 50, because I also died in earlier lives very often at this age. I had a deep core hate, for example, against the world, against life, against myself, against humanity, and against God, for example. And a lot of more topics were in the chain of that. I had sexual addiction issues and whatnot, and all kind of stuff going on. And it all changed. And even we didn't look at some topics because it's the ripple effect, what you meant, because it's all somehow bound together through some dots and strings. And when you dissolve the master core topic, then everything else will also be influenced in a domino effect, right?
Yes, totally. This is how it works. Like when you awaken to your true identity, to your highest nature, sometimes some issues might dissolve automatically without addressing them directly, because you truly understand that on this level, you are already healed. Your all is already dissolved because you identify yourself with the original design of your existence. So it doesn't mean doesn't mean that like everything is dissolved or there's nothing more to work on. There might be something, but you approach all these things from a different state of consciousness. Like I'm never saying like, okay, do Base-12 Bioregenesis Coaching and that's like, it's done, right? It's nothing else to do anymore. Don't work on yourself anymore.
Life goes on.
Life goes
Life
on.
happens.
And
Yeah.
there are different, like, there are next levels and next
But the thing
approaches.
is, if I may ask, you are not the same. And then you
Right.
totally interact totally different, and you're proactive and you're not reactive, for example, and all those kind of things. So it's a
Right.
complete identity shift what happens.
Right? Yeah, right. So basically the ideal case is, okay, well, the ideal case is you will never have any problems in your life, that it's done, right? That's the ideal. Okay. However, I don't know if this is like 100% realistic sometimes, although it's true, like main issues, like many things like dissolve, right? And sometimes there's like a rest, or probably something new may show up, like that has a deeper layer. It's possible as well. But okay, that would be the ideal case. It's done and nothing else is to do. However, this is not like how Base-12 bioregenesis, it's not the main goal, let's put it that way, of Base-12 bioregenesis. The main purpose of Base-12 is it gives you basically the tools, the understanding, the knowledge, and the realization that helps you to awaken to your multidimensional nature and identity. And whatever comes up, like as an issue or a problem or a challenge or whatever it is, you approach this from this higher perspective of your being.
Absolutely.
And solve it differently than ever before.
Yeah, and also in the sleep, for example.
Right, it happens
in all kinds of states.
Yeah, healing happens in all different like directions and layers, because you have full access or greater access to your full spectrum of your being, and through that you become able to approach all these issues and whatever it is from a completely different perspective and understanding and realization.
Yeah.
So this is actually the purpose of Base-12, right? It's not like to become totally free of problems and challenges. It's more like, okay, I totally not just understand, and not just realize, but I totally embody the higher stages and awarenesses of my being. And through that, I am able to address and to do everything that I want to do from a completely different state of consciousness.
Yeah, it's total empowerment.
Right.
And also what I also realized or experienced firsthand is when the old identity tries to slip back, because it doesn't want to die, and it tries to protect you at the end, right? And then it tries, when, let's say, I wake up at 5, 6 in the morning and there's a negative wave of thoughts where the old identity tries to trick you back again. And then it's very interesting to see that some automatic voice comes in and says, no, we don't play that game anymore. This is your old identity. This is not you anymore. And then it flips the script, literally, and it changes the narrative of the voice in something positive or abundant. No more scarcity, no more victimhood, no more lack, abundance, overflow. And sometimes it's even that it's not you which is doing it purposely, it's your higher self, I would say.
Right. And you have to understand you're still at the beginning of the end of the coaching, right? So basically, well, it's quite complex, right? So basically, it can happen that like something old might show up, because it's still in the way of processing everything that happened so far. However, you see that your system calibrated in a way that things automatically readjust or remodify in a way that is in alignment with your highest identity and your true nature. And this will intensify as well over the months that are coming.
Yeah.
So it's like it's going on. The whole process is still in the unfolding.
Very important point for the audience. So this is not a form of coaching. When the coaching is done and it ends.
Right. It still
After
continues. Right.
So the coaching process itself is the fundament, so to speak. And after the coaching comes the anchoring, and it goes deeper and deeper and deeper, like waves in the width and in the depth. And in my case, the coaching cycle ended around about 2.5 months ago.
Right.
And I still have the feeling it just gets really started.
Right. Absolutely.
It's amazing to see how it works. And it goes on and on and on and on. Yeah.
Right. It's not just like a quick rocket.
Yeah.
And sometimes you go to a seminar and you feel so empowered, and 2 days later it's like everything is gone.
It's
right.
Gone.
It's gone. Right. No, it's not. No, it's a lasting experience. And I mean, you need to understand that basically we've worked together, or we were working together for 12 weeks. Imagine there are like greater programs that go till 12 months sometimes. What like the integration and the anchoring of your highest nature is like more intense as well. However, it doesn't mean that you have to work with me for a year. It just means like even after 12 weeks, the full integration and the full activation of everything that happens, it's still ongoing and unfolding.
Yeah. So we have different possibilities to get in touch with us if people feel the calling to know more. And one of those possibilities are our ascension frequencies. And the ascension frequencies are very, very special coded sounds, so to speak, music with also scalar waves and stuff. So maybe you can talk a little bit about them.
Please. Right. So the ascension frequency sounds are basically Base-12 coaching in a sound manifestation. Right. It's a manifestation of Base-12 in a sound. And through listening to these sounds, you basically open up yourself through different dimensions of your existence. So basically, it helps you to get access to your higher stages of consciousness and to your higher stages of awareness in a totally natural way. It's not like it's not psychedelic or something like that. It's really no. It's like no. It's basically it reminds your system on the frequency level. It reminds of your true existence and of your true being. And through listening, this shift happens automatically.
And you have the possibility to get in touch with it maybe for the first time.
Of course, yeah. Some people use it like as a company to the coaching, but you don't need to do coaching in order to use the ascension frequency sounds. You can do it completely separate. And I have people like reporting us how like their state of consciousness has been changing just from listening to these frequencies. And I sometimes receive messages weekly from people saying how things have improved. And it's more like internal things that have improved, like their awareness, their consciousness, their state of awareness, just from listening to the sounds.
Yeah, I'm always in floating states. It's very fascinating.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Drifting around and spacing around and stuff.
Beautiful, yeah.
The audience can find 2 examples on your YouTube channel, Asim Aliloski.
Right.
And we have one as a freebie, right?
Right. Yeah, you can download them on my website as well. Or you can listen to them. Well, if there are 2 ways or many ways how to get to this ascension frequency sound. So there are 2 versions on YouTube that you can listen to, and they are super great. There is also a version that you can download as a file on your PC or computer and listen to that directly as well, which I always recommend to do with headphones, because this is like the most potent way to listen to these frequencies. And then if you feel aligned to these sounds, you can purchase, if you want, the whole package of ascension frequency sounds with different layers that they address. It goes to the DNA, to your 12-dimensional identity. So basically it's like a whole journey that you can go through and that you can embark on with ascension frequency sounds. So this is a way how you can access this magical, it's magical
journey.
in a way. Yeah, it's magical journey.
It is a journey, right?
It is a journey, right?
Yeah. So the second possibility, in the past month, it created itself, so to speak, something I say spoke and wrote through you. So it started with clearing commands.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Then out of that, they became decrees. And out of the decrees, the sacred commands manifested itself. So we're talking about 270 pages of
I think the English version is a bit shorter.
Okay,
it is. The English language is a bit different than the German.
So the Germans have more.
The German, it's like long words. Everything is long, right? Yeah. No, that the English version is a bit lower. However, probably I need to explain a little bit what are these
commands?
Are
they? What are these commands?
Yeah, what is that? Well, the commands, they are not affirmations and they're not mantras. So it's not something that you repeat over and over again. And you shouldn't do that as well. However, the commands are direct commands and directions to your highest self, your highest identity. And through reading the commands, shifts already happens within your multidimensional nature and identity. So it rewires all layers of your consciousness, all layers of your body, all layers of your emotional body. So basically Base-12, all the full spectrum of your being, the full spectrum of your existence in terms of abundance.
And money.
And money, right. Which is, abundance is basically,
it's everything.
It's wealth, prosperity, money, whatever, right? So through going through these commands, you basically rewire yourself on multidimensional levels, and in a way that you don't just attract abundance, which is a nice idea. It's like you become the embodiment of abundance, and you are already the embodiment of abundance. But through going through this whole process, you come to this realization down till your cell memory and your DNA that you are this already. You are all this that you're looking in the outside, right? And through that, you become able to manifest abundance or money or whatever you want in a natural and effortless way, because there is nothing that you chase or strive for or achieve, because you are all this that you're looking for in the outside.
Yeah, very, very profound results also from clients. Yeah,
right.
They got literally money out of nowhere. For example.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy.
From some relatives and stuff. Yes. I have here some money. Don't you need some?
Yeah, and it's like in an unexpected way.
Totally.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very, very deep also. Yeah, and then we have our coachings in a different way. We have the immersion, which is 12 weeks. We have the premium, which is 9 months for those who want to go deep, and those who want to go really, really deep. For 1 year, for example, we have the diamond, and completely new now, the sapphire collection. So maybe you can share a little bit about this also for the audience.
Yes, I mean, I like to work with people long term
Hmm.
because, and like 12 weeks is a long term commitment in a way, right? Because it's not just a single session and that's it, and let's meet each other in the future. No, it's like a real commitment. And through this commitment, you finally get the opportunity to, well, yeah, to embrace this shift that you have been looking for your life, all your life, basically.
Hmm.
And it's not just a little racket or something that feels good, or it's not like a wellness treatment. So you feel better. It's not about feeling better in the end. It's about really becoming the embodiment of the reality that you would like to experience from your highest state of consciousness
Hmm.
and from your soul aspect and your oversoul aspect and your avatar aspect. And this is why I've created these coaching programs that are so beautifully unique sometimes and so special that it really helps people to go through the transformations and shifts that they're really looking for, and the healing as well.
Hmm. So you're based in Nice and Monaco, and also a field of interest, let's say, for us are also the ultra high net worth individuals, because there are a lot of them there, but all over the world. And why especially the UHNWIs?
Well, I mean, we have programs that are accessible, I would
Mm,
say, and like it starts from the ascension frequency sounds, which are super accessible, and goes all the way up to the ultra high net worth individuals. Because, well, I can answer you because they also deserve healing and they also deserve transformations. And I also believe that if you work with leaders, and I've also worked with them, like 7-figure, 8-figure people,
mm,
it has a ripple effect. When someone who has this amount of power and influence goes through a profound healing and transformation, it doesn't just improve his own life, but like everybody's life in the end, because the ripple effect is outstanding.
yeah, we need conscious leaders, absolutely. Yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah.
yeah. And the more conscious leader we have, and the more spiritual people out there tap into their greatness. I
Mm,
mean, our slogan is "You are meant for greatness." So the more spiritual people out there tap into their greatness and into their full power on all levels, also on the financial level as well. So the more people do that, the faster and greater we are going to shift
mm,
and transform this world into a better place.
or the society also.
Everything, basically.
Same.
Right.
Yeah, very, very good. So I would say this sums it all up in a very nice way. Maybe you want to share some closing line for the audience, some closing words.
Well, I usually like to end my emails and my postings with one line. And this is something that I would like to do here as well. So the one line that I love to use is, "You are meant for greatness." And then I say namaste and much love. And this is all that I want to say right now.
Yeah, and Base-12 Bioregenesis is a tool
Right.
to reach that.
Yes.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Thank you for your time. Always a
Thank you, Wade.
pleasure to be and talk to you.
Thank you very
And
much, Thorsten.
yes, my pleasure as well. And I'm pretty sure we see us again.
Of course.
very soon. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Namaste. Bye-bye.
Yes. Bye-bye.